If you're a small business owner who's sick of watching the same big boys eat every single federal contract, if you've been submitting proposals that go straight to the trash, you're sitting there right now wondering why nobody in the government ever calls you back, this video is about to feel like a personal attack. In the best way. I just sat down with 4 federal contracting officers, real ones, people who used to award contracts for Terminator-style bulletproof suits, artificial intelligence weapons, and billion-dollar construction projects before ChatGPT was even a thing. And on camera, they admitted the dirty secrets nobody else will tell you. They were Googling your LinkedIn before they even opened your email. They can smell a generic capability statement from a mile away and delete it in 0.2 seconds. When the next wave of money explodes in 2026, 97% of small businesses are about to get completely shut out again. And the number one mistake, you still don't actually know who your customer is. But here's what's crazy. While everybody else is panicking and waiting for the government to turn back on, these same ex-KOs just handed us the cheat codes nobody is using right now while it's quiet. How to build real relationships with program managers today. How to position yourself so that when the contracts drop, you're the only logical choice. How to team up, pivot fast, and diversify your pipeline so you're never broke again, even when GSA is trying to crush you. I'm talking state contracts, local contracts, commercial pivots, think tank partnerships, all the moves the winners are making right now while everybody else is asleep. This isn't theory. This isn't go get your 8A and wait 5 years. This is what actual contracting officers who signed the checks told us to our faces. So if you're hungry, if you're coachable, if you're ready to stop getting ignored and start getting paid, lock in, smash the like button right now so YouTube knows this is the one. What were like in your roles, like what were some of the things that you did in those roles?
Wow.
I know you did everything, but just
I would say the best thing for me was like being a part of the mission. Like as a contracting officer, even though you're making awards, you're interfacing, with clients, customers, but to actually get to see, what we're building right in front of my face. That's what I enjoyed the most. I actually got to see where the tax dollars are going. I actually got to see everything. And I was a part of a lot of like enterprise technology efforts.
Okay.
Also construction. So I got to see large scale things put together. I got to fly around the world. I got to do a lot of things. We were doing artificial intelligence before it became what it is today.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Like putting on, I call them the Terminator suits because I had to procure suits for to allow the military to take bullets, jump higher, run faster.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's a lot of, sweet things.
And so were you helping small business get those contracts? I mean, was that part of your role? Or were you just writing the contracts and awarding them? What part did you play in some of that?
So I've always been a small business advocate.
Okay.
I was very front facing. I like to get out and reach people and have my one-on-one conversations. I would also meet them at conferences because, you can send me a proposal. You're supposed to do that. But it's much better when I've actually been able to build a relationship with you.
Okay.
And you get to really understand my needs and what the agency is looking for.
Okay. So that means that essentially the people that are listening, what we should be doing, what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, right? You could help us fix that.
Yes, we all can.
Okay.
Everyone on this call can, for sure.
Okay, awesome. So let's do this. And Amy, you did similar types of responsibilities?
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely serving in government. It was great, having a lot of interaction with cores and program managers and helping with some large government transformation projects.
I'm anxious to bring up some of our friends below. You could probably easily correct some mistakes that people in here have.
Oh, I don't know about that. I could probably add some advice. And, contracting, you pose the issue to a contracting officer, and that one contracting officer will probably tell you 5 different ways to do it. And none of them will be wrong. Some will be more streamlined, and some may have more risks. But that's the beauty of contracting.
Okay. And so I know, Danielle, you and I were kind of talking offline. Like I said, the people on this call, a lot of them are small businesses. What kind of things do you think that you recommend that they should be doing right now?
The top that comes to my list is always collaboration, partnerships, pivoting, becoming creative. Everyone always has the desire and the ambition to get into federal government contracting, which is very lucrative. But with, our uncertain times right now for small businesses, with everything going to GSA, that can kind of be really expensive for a small business to try to get into without being able to effectively partner. And so I would say, start looking at the states, even though the awards aren't as large, but it's still lucrative to diversify your pipeline with.
Okay.
And it's not as long of a process to get into as it can take with the federal government.
Yeah, I would definitely second that. And also, don't let your foot off the pedal. Keep networking. Don't stay silent. Keep your brand and awareness out there. And also, like Danny said, diversify your portfolio. If you're in healthcare IT for government, maybe go look at the healthcare for commercial. Some things are baseline the same, and just try and think about how your business can pivot and still be relevant for other areas like state and local, like commercial, even creating and pushing a new idea out collaboratively with other small businesses.
Miss Diane, what were some of the things that you saw, like I would say, repeated mistakes that small businesses make and your experiences?
I think the biggest mistake that small businesses make, or any size business, is that you don't know your customer. So recognize that if you are emailing the government official, for instance, I'm sitting at NIH and I get an email that says, I can do this for your company. Well, that email, you don't even know that I'm a government agency. And so, have the wisdom to go and really examine your customer. And so in this time where the government isn't active, identify opportunities, like possible opportunities for you to pursue. And in that time, really get to know that agency. So you can go and you can pull up information on contract awards. You can still do that. That information should be available. It's publicly available. And you can check the dates for when those contracts are expiring. And then you can begin to plan to make your introductions. And in that, because if a contract is ready to expire, let's say anywhere between now and a year, that gives you time to go in and meet those program officials, not contracting officers, program officials, to get to know them and for them to get to know you. So I would say that the biggest mistake is that you just don't know your customer. Okay, and so when you do get to meet the government official, depending on the venue. So if you actually get a meeting with that government official, my advice is 15 minutes tops. You go in there, you have your information, you go through it, 15 minutes. If it goes longer, it's because they're asking you questions and they're interested. And then and then find the forums that people are going to and where issues are being discussed. Because then you can meet some face-to-face. It is very difficult to get the appointments, but if you go to the various forums, conferences, find those people who you're interested in. So again, you got to do your homework because you got to find out who's going to be there, who you need to see.